Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we're talking love and marriage, Huntsville. Y'all know why y'all here. Anything I say is alleged and my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is ever personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description. A couple housekeeping things. It is free to follow me here on Anonymous Tea, and I'm so happy I finally got off work, y'all. It was a long day today. Anonymous Tea, this current channel. Please follow me on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. Tickety Talk, I don't know how much longer we got on the clock. It might be gone in a couple weeks, so follow if you can on TikTok, Anonymous Tea Podcast, and then do not forget to follow me on the gram. I've got some stuff I'll post on there later today at AnonymousRealityTVBlogger, you guys. So today we're talking love and marriage, Huntsville. Again, y'all know why y'all here. We're talking because just a little bit more tidbits from the Choo Choo Train, aka Grand Central Station, aka Concubine, aka Martell's forever and ever and ever side chick, you guys. Really didn't say much of anything. Talking about, I guess, that the season allegedly is renewed. Okay. I mean, I don't know really if that's saying, whether the show comes back or not, it really doesn't matter to me at this point. The ratings are too low for OWN to do anything to cancel it, as far as I'm concerned. There's not enough programming right now because they got rid of all their good shows like Queen Sugar and Greenleaf and everything else. So really, it is Love and Marriage Huntsville and Ready to Love that's keeping the lights on at OWN, and the rest is like old syndicated stuff. So nonetheless, it's not a shocker. My thing is, where's the press release, if it's true? There's been zero press release, like there was an actual press release for Bell Collective. Like, that's why I'm like, are we saying it's quote-unquote renewed, but technically it's considered a continuation of the current season that's airing, but you're classifying it as a new season because y'all don't want to correctly, say what the numbers are, say what the seasons are, because, well, according to some of your former cast members, that would basically mean you are trying to hurt their pay and hurt the money that they deserve to be making for being on the show forever and ever and ever. Also, Martell claims that he might quit the show, y'all. And I think I said this in another video. Quitting what? Quitting a Carlos King production where Carlos King has protected him up and down and back and around and sideways. Well, that kind of sounded nasty. But nonetheless, you've been protected, dude. You're not going anywhere as long as Carlos King is a part of it. Because he has protected you more than anybody on the show ever. I have never seen somebody look like an angel who got arrested and convicted for Revenge P, 3D harassment, and not 3D harassment, 3rd degree harassment, and got their no contact order elevated, and has had extended periods of time without his kids, and it's crickets, and they still decided to put him up in a white suit in the promo shots as if he was some sort of an angel. As if this was some big conspiracy against him. Make it make sense. So he claims that he might quit the show because they won't show us quote-unquote real life. I don't think we need to see you in the concubine, you guys, in one of these, model homes that you're going to pretend to live in for the show and all the things. We don't need to see any of it. We don't need you to pretend like you are just this happy as ever to be with a forever side chick that you threw away your family for. I'm not buying it. Like I said, I think there's a lot of nonsense that Martell tells Grand Central Station, and she eats it up because it continues to feed her delusions about her being on the show. She feels like she is a lot more a part of the show than what it really is because nobody is talking about her. That's the thing. Nobody, really, she's not coming up, and she hasn't come up until the adult, Field Day Dollar Tree version episode aired. Outside of that, when has she been mentioned this season? Nobody cared. Oh, except for, Destiny. Destiny cared. and had the audacity to bring up that respectful cheating nonsense on the girls' trip. Also, claims that the real reason that he's mad at Tisha is because of the concubine. You guys, you cannot make this stuff up. Mel already exposed in her sit down with the Scots 1.0 that Martell texted her immediately after the Dollar Tree Field Day fiasco and essentially told her that the Scots 1.0 were speaking greasy about her, we're talking spicy about her, we're saying all of these things that were negative and nasty behind her back. So this notion that the concubine thinks that any type of issue is about her is hilarious, considering you have no information, no real authentic information that you can validate as it pertains to the show. And two, Mel had the receipt right there in the scene that Martell still and will break his no contact order to have access to Mel, to feel like he is doing something for Mel, for her validation and her approval, yet he still drags her up and down and disrespects her. Make it make sense. So then she wants to throw, the Grand Central Station wants to throw shade at Mel. And says the tired Reed, oh, Mel's the type to throw rocks and hide her hands. She wouldn't want to, she can't play the villain. She doesn't have to play the villain if the show edits her to be one. Make it make sense. Reality TV can make anybody look like a villain. Like y'all, you can easily cut up, manipulate a conversation, manipulate some looks and glances that might have been from a different part of the conversation or a different part of the scene, and make it look like they're throwing shade and dragging you. But see, if you'd pay attention to things like that, you'd know that, right? It's not this, big conspiracy. Says that Marceau is too smart to play the villain. What? Girl, what? Oh, this is coming from, she grew up in a two-parent household, right? Where the two parents did not live together in a two-parent household. What is she talking about? Marceau has always been a villain. He's always been a villain, starting with being a villain to his own wife. Saying that she grew up on the other side of the tracks. Saying that he didn't want her out here working, that a man's responsibility, he shouldn't have to know what his kids want to do for him to be a stay-at-home dad. He was completely lost that day when Tisha wanted to get back out in the workforce. I'm like, are we watching the same show? Marceau has always been a villain. He's always been an a-hole. It's just that, people find, the few times that he can be funny or charismatic or whatever, people don't go as hard on him or whatever, or they don't like Tisha, so they don't go as hard on him. But he's been mad disrespectful. Very disrespectful. I'm like, what is going on? Very much in the living of the Stone Age and everything else of what a woman should be doing at home and all these things. The switch up now is only to mimic what the Holts presented on the show when they were together. That's the whole thing. Marceau doesn't believe that deep down. Come on now. He's told you exactly what he thinks of women and their places in these businesses. Even with Tisha, even if the rumors are true that her name might be on, some of these businesses because she has the better credit, where's the power that's associated with that? How are you powerful, but your husband is still, you have all this ownership, but you're not the ones making the demands on any of these businesses. You're just fighting for a manager's desk and all the things. Marceau's telling somebody else out off the street more information about the company than you. Make it make sense. Like it's just crazy to me. And then the only other piece really was just that apparently the reunion's going to revolve around Martell, which is interesting because I feel like he's barely been on the show. He's barely been on the show. So you're trying to tell me the Carlos King that sat there on his Mr. Mondays, dragged out the girls' trip for 20 episodes, that's not going to be a focal point of the reunion, even though he wanted to go on every single talk show and be like, the girls' trip, this was the best girls' trip in the history of reality TV, Nobody believes that. then wanted to go in on the scene that Mel and Trish had, that sit down where Mel was just dragging her, had her questions together, had her answers and her get bats together, and Carlos King was like, well, yeah, I watched it 10 times already. What? Like, grow up. And Tisha said that was, a masterclass. That was like, Mel being a senior and Trish being an incoming freshman and not knowing anything and all this and that she wasn't ready. As much as y'all hype that up, so that's not going to be a part of the reunion either. That's going to be left on the cutting room floor. The big DUI that you said that there was going to be answers to everybody's questions, allegedly, per the Carlos King Mr. Mondays episode, even with the episode with Maurice, that was going to be a big component of the reunion. And we see the Scots 2.0 trying to come for Mel for asking questions about the DUI. That's not going to be a big component. I think Martell is living in DELULU. Your big moment, Martell, this season, well, 2 moments really, was getting arrested and being in denial about the arrest. And really, you haven't clocked in since the Dollar Tree Field Day episode. So what is it that you've done this season that warrants you to think that you deserve all this camera time? And this is what I mean. Like, Carlos King, you can prop up the Scots as much as you want to, but you're still trying to make fetch happen with Martell. And I don't understand why the Scots don't realize this. I don't understand why they don't realize Martell has been and always will be Carlos King's favorite. Makes sense. He liked Mel to an extent, as long as she did what he wanted her to do as it pertained to the benefits and the interest of Martell Holt. When that was no longer on the table, Carlos was moving mad funny after that. But still would pretend, I'm protecting you, da-da-da-da-da. No, you're not. You're being very messy. You're being very shady. And you like to gaslight your own cast about who's my favorite this season. Like who does stuff like that? Like playing a game as if you're their parents and who's my favorite child? No, nobody does stuff like that. That's, you're creating an environment for people to always be against each other, which is why you inserted yourself by like, I've got raindrops, into the fan base debate. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's not that serious. We're not in high school. Stop it. But yeah, Martell is also echoing the same things that he said in that rant that he did at the end of 2023 to Carlos King after the scene where he brought Mel flowers and she just wasn't receiving any of the BS he was trying to tell her, because she was like, listen, you still do a whole bunch of stuff off camera to me, so how am I supposed to accept any of this is in good faith? And, basically is trying to say once more to show his real life. I don't think we want to see that with kibbles and bits. I truly don't, Martell. I think you're just telling her what she wants to hear because she still wants to be on the show. But I mean, that's really all that I had on this. I'm trying to see if there was anything else that was really said or discussed or anything. I think that was it. I don't think Martell is quitting anything. Like I said, the show would actually have to end and be axed for Martell to be forced out of there, because this is his only source of income. And do you think an unemployed Martell isn't going to be even more unhinged than what he is now? If we thought the stalking and obsession with Mel is bad now, with him being on Love and Marriage Huntsville, imagine him without it. This might be the safest thing for right now. At least there's something to keep him occupied, right? In addition to his obsession with his ex-wife. But at least in the meantime, he's now obsessed with trying to take down the Scots. But if he did not have this show, 150% of the attention would be on Mel, which would not be good for her or the kids. So at least now, about 30% of that attention has diverted to assessing on what is going to take place with the Scots. But nonetheless, as far as my thing, like I said, with the concubine, with Grand Central Station, with Choo Choo Train and everything else, what is there left for her to say that she hasn't already said? A lot of this she's already said in one way or the other, either to all of us for free on her own platforms or to other bloggers and things. And it's like, for me, there's really no smoking gun. You know, the people who've been moving mad of really, this is just confirmation they've moved mad. But this is also a person who is a liar as well. You know, she flip-flops on when she wants to give Mel credit and when she wants to hate her guts. She flip-flops when she wants to call Martell G-A-Y and then wants to say that he's the best lover ever and all this other foolishness. And it's like, well, which is it? You know? Which is it? But I feel like, you know, again, Martell, one way or the other, is behind this, whether he knew about this recording or not, because he's the one that's feeding her all of this. You have no actual connection in terms of viable receipts to fact check anything that Martell is telling you on the show. And if you say your now good friend Destiny verifies it, oh, please. She's going to do anything that Martell says as well. Because she's chosen a side. She doesn't care about anybody but herself either. But how much more, you know, this girl has just, you know, played stupid games, won stupid prizes time and time again. She doesn't want better. She doesn't want to do better. Or she would have gotten up out of here a long time ago and wouldn't have been, you know, in a competition to have a kid with Martell. Make it make sense. But nonetheless, that is it. That is that. Let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.